contributions. Hopefully, I will also tell you some techniques to build contributions for the upcoming meetings. So just to cover the basics first, ITU is UN Specialized Agency for Digital Technologies, ICTs, 194 member states, many companies, universities, academia members, etc. Its headquarters is in Geneva. It's the oldest agency in the UN family. Others being, for example, WHO, etc. This one is founded in 1980. If you go to the ITU website, you will see something like this. The main aspects being these kind of sectors, that is radio sector, standardization sector, and development sector. We will be focusing on the standardization sector today. There is at this point I will also call out the major difference between maybe 3GPP, IETF, and other bodies that you may be familiar with. This being a UN organization, it will have member states. India is a member represented by Department of Telecom, but there are other sector members including TSTSI. So these are the sectors of ITU that I talked to you about. Standardization sector is telecommunication standardization sector is the important one that we will focus today. But there are others. There are radio communication sector and development sector. These three sectors always work together. Standardization sector promotes technical policy regulatory frameworks, platform for governments and private sector to coordinate development. So this is where most of the ITU-T standards will go. Radio communication sector, on the other hand, looks at spectrum and satellites. This is where most of the work in the spectrum and, for example, radio frequency spectrum will go here. The development sector looks at the generally for developing world telecommunication infrastructure, and this kind of activities goes under the development sector. What is the organization? So this is where we will focus on ITU-T for telecommunication standardization, but there are other structures that you should be familiar with. We at the most topmost we have plenipotentiary conference. This is where the decisions happen. The one is coming up next year, 2026. There will be a PP, that is plenipotentiary conference. There is a council meeting. This is after the PP. There will be a council meeting where the decisions will be planned and implemented. There are also other conferences such as WTSA, World Telecom Standards Assembly, which happened in 2024 in Delhi. But next time that is coming up every 4 years, that will happen somewhere else. So this is the structure. Each sector will have decision-making bodies. WTDC is coming up in, I think, Azerbaijan, Baku in Azerbaijan. That is also a conference which is coming up this year. But apart from that, this is where we will focus on. Okay, So if you look at WTSA and ITU-T structure, there is WTSA and TSAG, that is the standardization assembly and group. That has different study groups under it. This is where we will submit the contributions. For example, today we will look at some of the contributions which are ongoing for the upcoming meetings. This is where the study groups happen. Contributions happen in these study groups. There is working parties under each study groups. We will look at some of them today. And each working party has questions. So you can think of them as working groups in, let's say, 3GPP, or if you go to IETF, these can be looked at as subgroups. And this is where most of the work will happen. If you are submitting a contribution to the upcoming meeting, that means that you need to choose which study group you go to, which working party you would like to go to, and also which question terms of reference and upcoming contributions correspond to the idea that you would like to contribute. or the work that you would like to contribute. So that's the first decision that you do, is look at this structure and decide which question you want to contribute to. WTSA happens every 4 years. Last one happened in Delhi in 2024. After that, the next one will be in 2028. The study groups can carry out the standardization work, as I told you. These are that is standardization advisory group meets regularly between the assemblies to coordinate the work of the sector, including coordination between study groups. This is WTSA sets overall direction structure, meets every 4 years. We have already covered. TSAG is Telecommunication Standards Advisory Group that provides in between the WTSAs. We have coordination between the different study groups, and study groups where the most of the work happens. That's where we will focus today. These are the different study groups. Upcoming meetings happen in these study groups. The mostly, if you take a look at next 2 months or so, meeting coming up, study group 21 meeting coming up, study group 13 meeting coming up. There are other meetings, but these are the ones that are happening in the next 1 month, 2 months time frame. But you can see there are different topics for each of the study groups. There is operational aspects, economic policy aspects, environment, protocols and testing. There is QoS related, future networks, fiber and transport. There is security related, IoT related, and multimedia and applications related. These are the main study groups that are currently there. uh, Please be careful when you look at the study groups. You should be careful to look at the current study period, 2025 to 2028. If you look at the previous study period, that is 2020 to 24, then you will see a different structure for the study groups. You should not look at that. You should look at the study period between 2025 and 2028. This is the current study period that we are currently in. For example, in the previous study period, there was study group 16, there was study group 12, and these kind of, some parts have been merged together to form the study group 21. So be careful which study period. Apart from the study groups, there are also focus groups, which are pre-standardization groups. The main difference being the study groups look at normative standards, but focus groups typically look at non-normative pre-standardization work. So if you are in a study phase, if you are in academic research, you are doing some studies in that front, then this focus group may be a good platform for you. There are many focus groups. I have taken mainly two of them here as examples. Focus group on cost models, affordable data services. This is from 2023. This is one of the focus groups that we worked upon as well. Focus group on AI native telecommunication networks. This is another focus group currently going on as well. These are different groups there where you can potentially contribute uh, um, through TSDSI and as well as from the member state. So there are pre-standardization groups where you have the non-normative studies being done, after which this report from the focus group goes to the study groups and they get converted into different types of deliverables, including recommendations, supplements, etc. We have been having our members. I think some of you are here. We have had several contributions to IT meetings. The AI for Group Summit, we have very good participation. This is not a standardization aspect. It is a pre-standardization activity as well. There is several members who submitted use cases, applied as the technical advisory committee members. Use cases were published as well. They are selected to include in the final report. And we have technical advisory committee members as well. Focus group contributions have been there also. I think there have been some new updates which I might have, but In general, we have very good contributions from members contributions as well. TSDSI has ongoing contributions in Study Group 13. Abhijan is here. He is Vice Chair of Study Group 13, so he is also very active there. There is contributions, ongoing contributions on from him as well. There are mentoring sessions and handholding sessions which are provided. If you are interested, you should please, there is a QR code at the end. You can scan it and you can join these WhatsApp groups, etc. Chandrakanta is coordinating it, so you can join those mentoring sessions to edit contributions as well as come to these kind of initiatives like focus groups and study group contributions. We looked at WTSA resolutions for 2024 from TSDSI in a group on similar sessions, and we had actually a working group which looked at this WTSA resolutions. The some of the engagement are here: AI, machine learning, etc. etc. TSDSI is A.5 certified. That means that our documents can be directly referred by TT. TSDSI members are active in these groups as well as publish papers in ITU Journal for Future and Evolving Technologies. Anyway, this current call is also upcoming in November or December will be the deadline for Journal for Future and Evolving Technologies latest call. It is not come yet. But, just shared for you is that this call is also coming. The Kaleidoscope happened in the 2024 in Delhi, and that was a year back. I think this here also very good participation from TSTS side. You can see here one of the talks that we had with Aditi. AI for good, AI for impact. We have been Galaxy has been very active. We had groups before in a impact workshop was centered. So you can see there are colleagues at Galaxy receiving the prize and certificates, as well as even in Shanghai there have been very good participation in this pre-standard event as well. Tata Alexei was the first company to be nominated in top 30 in Super AI League. It's the top 30 companies in the world for AI for Good event in Shanghai also. So WTSA 2024, we had some contributions. We had also 6 resolutions that we looked at. Kaleidoscope TSTSI was a partner to this conference. There have been papers presented also, and we had similar awareness sessions for WTSA and Kaleidoscope. For women participants of women event, which happened in Delhi as well. These events in WTSA, we had women in standard event as well with our participation. Okay, covered. Conference included several technical technical contributions and engagements. I will skip this because we want to focus. WTSA. There have been multiple events as part of WTSA in Delhi. So we had global standards board itself, Network of Women, as I told you, Kaleidoscope, Robotics Challenge, and for Good Impact India. These are some of the events that would happen again. So in this case, you could participate by staying in. Global standardizing board, very good participation and leadership from TSC. I will skip this, um, go towards the hands-on session. So in case you have any particular questions, please ask in the chat, and Chandrakanta and our colleagues make sure that your question will be heard. So we will focus on a couple of study groups which are upcoming meetings. We want to follow along with me to look at their websites and the potential topics. We can do that together. There is a link here. I will try to switch between these two things. You should use me in a moment, and I will um, put link so that you can do this as well. Hmm. Okay. So there is a chat window in which I have the link. In case it's not visible, please Chandrakanta take it. And you can see, if you go to the link, you will see this kind of information. This is upcoming meeting. The meeting itself is SG20, is one of the groups that I covered just now. There is the group 20. It covers Internet of Things, building smart sustainable cities and communities. The meeting itself is 15th to 25th September. I will switch to the website very soon, so we can look at the details of the meeting itself. But I want to cover the basics first, and then we can go to the website, look at. So this is happening 15th to 25th September. That means the document deadline will be very soon. You can see here the deadlines. The let's in case you have fellowships, scholarships to travel for these meetings, you should write to us and work with Department of Telecom to give requests for fellowships. There is a pre-registration and visa request which is closed as well. In case you want to register, I think online registration is still open, but 15th August is what the deadline for travel. That is midnight Geneva time. That is about 3.5 hours behind us. So yeah, so this is tomorrow midnight Geneva time. We will look at contribution websites, and I will go through it in a second. My plan is to look at some sample contributions. We will look at how to build one. Potentially, we'll also look at some A.1 justifications which should accompany new proposals, and there is the body of the document that we should worry about. First, let us take care of in case you register. This is the time to register. These days, they have requests for you account register. In case you don't have an account, you should talk to Chandrakanta and please request for a TISE account. This is how you do it. You go to this website. Mm, Let me see. I need to switch between the so that I can do it. Okay. You need to go to this website to see if it will give you a login screen like this. You click here to create an account if you don't have an account. If you have an account, you can directly log in. If you don't have an account, click here to create one. And you follow these steps. If you need these slides, you can talk to Chandrakanta and she will send you these steps with these screenshots. So no need to worry. You can write to us and get these slides as well. when you click on this, click here to create one, it will give you a menu like this. You click on sector member because TSCSI is a sector member of ITU. You select sector member. And then you come here, select the country as India and select TSCSI here at the end. Then you have to fill up your own details here. You have to fill up your email, confirm the email, your own password. Please don't forget the password. And then you fill up your details here and click on continue here. That's it. After that, the job is ours. It will be the request will come and it will be done by approved by the focal point. If you're creating an account for the first time, then it will come to us and it will be approved by Natalie. If you are registering for a meeting, that is the next step. So once you are typing once you have created the ITU types access, then you can do this kind of registration for specific meetings. I will show you where the link for the registration for the specific meeting is as well. I will show that you in a bit, but let me also look at one meeting, at least one meeting, that is a study group 20 meeting, for example, and I will give you the link for that here. Yes, I know. Chandra will share it. Okay. So this is the link for the study group 20. I will go to that in a bit, but this is what you will see when you go there. You go there, it will ask you. Hopefully, you have created this account by then, and then you put your email and approve. So that once your account is approved, you can log in here. Please go through these steps. Again, these slides are also with Chandra. You can write to her and she will send you these slides. Nothing worry. So here you have to select, you have to ignore this part. This is already a sector member, so please ignore this part. Here you have to select a different representation. This click here if you like. Sector members, India, TSDSI. This is what you want in the drop down menu over here. And then you click on this part. I wish to attend the following meetings. Click whatever you like here. If you are participating remotely, you have to click this part. Do not click here, which allows for member state. That's only for Department of Telecom. Don't do that here. We are not Department of Telecom. We are TSTSI. So here you should not click here if you are not member state. So do not click here and submit the registration. If you have visa request, if you are participating physically, then you need to click on visa request as well. I will show you that in a bit. Once you've done submissions, this will come to us and TSTSI dedicated focal point will approve the requests if you are a member. This is the QR code. I will pause here for a bit so that you can scan it and join the WhatsApp group. You can join, Chandrakanta will approve the request if you're a member. And you can request for slides. You can talk to her about upcoming meetings. If you like to have mentoring, if you'd like to join the mentoring sessions, you can do that through this WhatsApp group. She sends also some reminders for the upcoming meetings, these kind of things, as well as fellowships, scholarships, everything is sent in this WhatsApp group. So this is very important for you. Please, if you're a member, scan this QR code and join the WhatsApp group so that you get reminders and meeting notice, etc. Don't miss that. I will just hold the screen for a minute so that you can scan it and join it. Okay, I will give you 2 minutes. After that, I will switch to websites. So now I will, after this, after 2 minutes, I will switch to website. I will look at individual groups. Study group 20, 13, and 21 are coming up. Those are the ones which we will spend some time. I hope to spend about 40-45 minutes explaining to you some samples, and then we can take some questions and comments if you like. During this time, if you have some questions, feel free to stop, raise hands, and Chandrakanta and colleagues will also make sure that your voice is all right. So I hope you have scanned it successfully. I will switch my screen to website which I wanted to show. Just a moment. Okay, so mm, so this is the event registration website. Okay, but we get here through this home page of the group that you are in. In this particular case, it is study group 20. When you go to the study group 20 website, I already sent you this in the chat window. You already have it in the chat window. Okay, this link. If you go to this link, you see, first of all, make sure you're in this new study period, that is 2025 to 2028. If you are in the previous study period, you will see entirely different set of documents. Please don't do that. The current study period is 2025 to 2028. This is the first thing that you check. For example, if you Google study group 20 ITU, you will land up in the previous study period. That's why I'm telling you very specifically. Uh, so the current meeting which is coming up will be here. That is the meeting in focus 15th to 25th September 2025. Okay. There is announcement and registration here. There is a draft agenda, timetable, etc. here. There is remote participation available. In case you are not able to travel, this is a good option. Uh, there are some catches, but I will tell you what those catches are in a bit. You need to also look at what are the how to join. I will tell you that also in a bit. Mm, but to access remote participation also, you should register. Without registration, it is not possible. So that means you need to have a TISE account that I showed you just now how to create. You need to register that I showed you how just now how to do it. And you need to know how to join. Okay, nobody is going to send you a Zoom link. Please don't misunderstand. There is a tool that IT uses, and you have to join using that tool. There are deadlines to worry about. I showed you this already. There are scholarships which time is past. Registrations for and visa requests, that time is past. Here, the contributions, there is still time. That is tomorrow. So that is the current situation of things. If you want to look at the contributions already submitted by somebody, then you need a TISE account. You need to look at those contributions using your TISE account. I will show you some samples today. Okay, and how it looks like. That can be that is possible for me. And then one of the first things that you do is to look at this mandate and lead roles. So firstly, when you look at contributing to a study group, then look at the mandate and lead roles first. This will give you a good idea about what this study group is about and whether you want to be in that study group or a different one. So this is a study group 20, okay, is responsible for development of, I hope you can see this clearly. If you want, I can try to zoom a little bit, but pretty much that's all I can do. So this is, or you can look at it offline, okay? The link is already there with you. You can look at it offline. The study group 20 is responsible for development of innovative standards, guidelines, reports, best practices for the IoT, digital twins, metaverse, smart sustainable cities. These are the topics. These are the topics. So if you are outside of this, then I suggest you look at some other group. Okay. So in IoT, digital twin, metaverse, smart sustainable cities, with the goal of accelerating blah blah blah. This includes digital services, something, 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 and you have interoperability, etc., requirements, capabilities, architecture frameworks. So this is the second part that you need to note down. This means that you can bring in requirements, you can study use cases, you can study architecture frameworks in this study group, but related to these topics. These are the topics of choice for this particular study group. You see also digital health, accessibility, and inclusion as specific topics, but in case I think agriculture and the education and such topics are also part of this as far as these are covered, uh, architectures, functionalities, protocols, verticals and infrastructure, centralized distributed data analytics, everything is covered here. There are terminology and definitions covered here, and there are standards and best practices which are in that. There are some details here. I will skip that for the time being. There is management team which you can look at in case you need support from management team. You can see here there is a management team and probably one or two names normally we have from India, but normally you should also look at who is the counselor. That is, in this case, this is Christina, who is the counselor in this case. So this is what you do first homework when you look at a study group for potential contributions. And then we can look at the um next part, that is the contributions themselves. So these are the documents which are currently there. These contributions we can look at. I would like to look at another two more study groups before I come to the documents as an example. Let me look at study group 13 as just an example. So if you Google study group 13, it will take you to this one. Please check the study period first. This is 2025 to 2028. The next meeting is Tashkent, Uzbekistan, 28th October to 6th November. There is a registration link here. So if you go, it will look exactly the same as what I showed you previously, except that your registration is different. So here also you will use the same uh, same structure, same ties account, I mean to say, same ties account, and you can go and register with the same ties account as I showed you previously. The remote participation is possible here as well. There is agenda, time plan, etc. available. Visa is requests are available till 14th October. Still, there is a little bit of time. If you are looking for fellowships, it is still 16 more days, 15 more days are available. And I think the documents are here. These are the documents which are here so far. As I will follow the same process, you look at the mandate and lead roles of study group 13. Study group 13 is responsible for studies related to requirements, architecture capabilities, APIs, softwareization, orchestration. AI is here. Hmm. Machine learning, future networks. This is the topics under study group 13. So future networks is the main area, but AI machine learning is there, APIs are there, architecture capabilities and orchestration are covered here. So this is a very good area. If you are into networks, then this is probably the area that you go to as far as architecture APIs are concerned. There is IMT 2030 to mention non-radio related parts. This is very important. That means RAN is not covered. Non-radio related parts. And study group 13 is future computing, cloud computing, data handling, blah, 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 blah. And the fixed mobile satellite convergence is covered. Quantum networks are covered. Related technologies are covered. Quantum key distribution are also covered here. Trusted ICT is covered here. So there is a range of topics which are covered under this topic, including AI and machine learning. If you want to look at the management team, I believe you can see somebody familiar here. Abhijanji is here. So he's one of the vice chairs from India side. But there are also very good colleagues, and you should look at the counselor. I believe that is Tatiana. So that is the structure of the group, and we can look at another group also as just an example. I will look at study group 21. Let us see if they have a meeting currently coming up. Of course, they have a meeting coming up. 6th to 17th October 2025 is the meeting. You can look at the details of this group here. I will put here the group's study group 21 meeting. I mean to say the details. So I will follow the same structure. You can see the deadline for fellowship is 25th August. That's over. Contributions is 23rd September. That is still there, a little bit of time. Then we should look at maybe I don't see remote participation, but that should be there. But currently there is no remote mentioned here. There is virtual sessions. Okay, so yeah, so virtual sessions are there. There is mandate and lead roles. We will look at the mandate and lead roles. Multimedia technologies, capabilities, systems, application services, IP, and cable-based networks. So this is this is the current set of technologies that are being looked at in case of study group 21. Multimedia technologies, capabilities, systems, application and services for existing and future networks, including IP-based and cable-based. So you see, there is earlier study group 16 comes under this. I think it is merged now under this particular study group 21. And also you see there is application and services mentioned. So if you are doing a lot of SGSS work, then probably this is the group that you should focus on, because application services are mentioned here. But in general, there is components of networks as well. So there is ICT, multimedia services, application services, terminals, delivery platforms, digital inclusion and accessibility are here. Human interfaces are here. Digital health, digital culture, and mobility are here. These are in the form of verticals. Telecommunication systems in general, audiovisual content, this type of different distribution channels are covered here. Telecommunication networks, coaxial fiber, coaxial cable, IP networks, these are covered here as well. Then lead study group roles are multimedia technologies, broadband cable, audiovisual content, human factors, multimedia aspects, digital culture, blockchain type technologies, and metaverse. So these are the type of things covered under this. You can look at the structure. Sorry, the management team, and you can see if we have somebody. Yes, Avinash is here, and also I think he's also as one of the working party chairs. Vice chairs, okay. And then we can also look at Stefano, who is the counselor. So that is the structure. I mean to say the management teams, and you have enough support from each of them. Now I will look at some sample documents just in case you would like to submit a contribution and get some contribution in. What are the typical elements that one needs to have for submitting a new work item? That is the new work item for this kind of meetings. That is what I will cover next. So in case you're very interested, you see this is what you are working on, and you would like to submit a contribution, then you would be asking like, what is a template? How do I do it? These are the questions that we typically get. So let's look at the potential contribution, which is just as an example. I don't have the details. We can discuss the details as we can discuss these details offline. But just as a template which can kick off your ideas, this is what you do. If you have a idea to contribute, this is what you fill the idea that is used for contributions. So let's take we saw three study groups today. That is maybe study group 20, 13, and 21, right? So we take one example today, that is 20. So let's say study group 20, and this is the template that follows. Template is available from the website. In case you want the template from Chandrakanta, just write in the WhatsApp group and you can get the template from the WhatsApp group, okay? And then if you get the template, it will look like this. There will be a header which looks like this with the meeting date. Which question are you going to target this? I will show that in a bit, how to select the questions. The source, that is your company name or TSDSI. If in case you are going via TSDSI, which I highly recommend, this is the TSDSI which you will put here. The source will be TSDSI. The title will be that you get a new work item on whatever topic that you want. We can take some examples and I will walk you through some examples today. The contact will be your name and your designation, telephone number, and email will be yours. The abstract is the abstract of whatever you are proposing. I will go through some examples today. Then there is a section on background with the something something, and this is the background details that you give, probably one page of a couple of paragraphs of the background. This is just an introduction. You may give a figure which is here for discussion purposes. You may give an overall figure here. You may give some aspects, that is functional requirements, performance requirements, reliability, blah, blah, blah. This is just for introduction purpose. Then the important part is the gap analysis. Without this, the new work item is not going to be approved. So please, when you are submitting a new work item to the study groups, always to create this gap analysis, and this is what makes a difference between high quality submissions and the ones which are not. So you have to make sure that the gap analysis is done, it is well prepared. This is the first thing that the chair will look at for approving or not this particular work item. You have to look at ITVT previous documents. What is the title of this document? Give a scope of this document and analyze what is difference between this document and what you are proposing. In this case, you say that, okay, this is a standard, this defines something, something, but it lacks something, something. Finally, it defines only certain parts of it. The rest is handled in your proposal. So this is the normal nature of analysis and gaps that you provide. The same thing for 3GPP, you can include 3GPP, IETF, IEC, whatever else that you, HC, whichever else the groups that you go to, you can put the gap analysis here, and that will all be welcome in the form of gap analysis. You can give a proposal, that is, it is proposed to initiate a new work item on this topic, and it is proposed to use the following text as baseline document for meeting discussion. This is very important. So the first thing the chair is going to look at is whether there is a gap analysis. Second thing the chair is going to look at is whether there is baseline document. So The baseline document is right here. So you have to put it in this same contribution. This is the baseline document with some template. Here is a summary. It says that the traditional methods can no longer meet certain requirements. So we produce this recommendation, which does some references, etc. But basically, this is the derived from the gap analysis. Whatever you do, that is the basis for this summary. And there is a text here which explains what the scope of what you're going through. These are the requirements, maybe some architecture aspects that has to be covered here. Please always remember the mandate and lead roles that we talked about in the study group website. If you propose something which is totally different, that's not going to be accepted because that is not within the scope of the study group. So whatever you propose here has to be within the scope of the study group. This is why first thing that we did is to look at the structure, the scope, and the mandate. You can, of course, go to another study group. So if you think that this is not related to, uh, let's say IoT or metaverse or digital twins, and then you have to select another study group. So you have to change the template. You have to put study group 21 here or 13 here, and the rest of it pretty much remains the same. You have to change it here because this is study group number. But this such kind of things we can help TSTSI. Chandrakanta is very experienced, and we can sit together and we can decide along with you which study group you want to target and decide where you want to propose also. Okay, so moving down, here is the body. There are keywords, there are summary, then there is the body here. This is the structure. There are references, there are definitions, there are conventions. This is the boilerplate. There is introduction and main body, and then there is A.1 justification. So this is I will come to A.1 justification in a bit, but this is this basic structure of the document that you submit. Again, I repeat again, the main things the chair looks at, firstly, the gap analysis. Secondly, whether you have a proposed base document, that is baseline document for the meeting discussion. If you don't have these two, document will be rejected. If you have these two, then we are good. The third main item is A.1 justification. There are two types of justifications. Firstly, A.1 and secondly, A.13. If you look at A.13, then if you look at A.1, this is for normative recommendations. A.13 is for non-normative use informational documents. Those are A.13. So this template is with Chandrakanta. She will help you to fill it up. All kinds of help is available. You just need to ask her. You can join the WhatsApp group and ask her these questions. Where is the template? Where is the A.1? How do I choose this group? I have this idea. What to do? This kind of questions are most welcome, and we will guide you towards the right group. We'll handhold you. We can have meetings to decide what you put here and then take it there. Deadlines are to be respected. After the deadline, contribution will not be accepted. Very sorry. So that means that she will also help you to track it and make sure that you are on time. So this kind of activities can be help is available. We just need to ask. I will give you one example today. A.1 justification. In this case, it is very clear that this whatever is talked about includes normative items. So that means it has to be A.1 and not A.13. This is the template, is pretty much the same template. Only thing you need to make sure that this is the date in the future. It is according to your plan. For example, there is something proposed by 2027. That means this work will be finished by 2027 and published as a standard from ITU. That is the timeline. So if you see, this is the 2-year timeline to almost a 2.5-year timeline that they are proposing. That is normal. 2.5 years is a normal timeline which is there in ITU to propose from proposal towards publication of a standard. If you are looking for a standard to come next week, good luck to you. That is not possible. The scope, here is the scope which explains that this recommendation scope introduction requirements. Please remember, you're allowed to copy paste from your own document. So you see here, there is a scope. That's the same thing which goes here as well. No problem. There is a summary. There is a relationship with activity recommendations and other standards. Please remember, this is possible to get it from this gap analysis if you have done your homework on the gap analysis. And then again, same thing is to be possible from this gap analysis. You can pick it up from there and put it here. Supporting members, in case you TSDSI, you can put it here if in case you're a TSDSI member. If you need more supporting members, 2-3 members are required. So in case you have more, you need more supporting members, we can work together to find supporting members to propose this activity in the study group. So this is another place where Chandrakanta and colleagues can help. Please get in touch with them to get these supporting members so that these are not TSVSI, not necessarily TSVSI members. These are ITU members that we are talking about. So they can, we can help you to find some members internationally as well who can support your work in the meetings so that this can be, work item can be established. That is the first step, is to establish the work item, create the work item, work towards 2027, that is 2.5 years from now, when we will have this standard published. This is an example of how you propose a new work item and get it through to the different study groups. Here we have taken one example, that is study group 20, and we looked at what is the template and A.1 justification for that document. Now, if there are questions, let me see if there are any questions. You can ask any questions that you like in the chat window, and our colleagues will make sure that you can even ask the questions. I want to, at this point, I will switch my sharing back to the website, and I want to show what happens to these documents once you propose. What happens to this document? So let's take for example one of the study groups. Just a moment. Let's take study group 13. Okay, and then let's look at let's look at all the documents here, and let's go back. Let's look at PDs. No, let's look at contributions. So this is the set of contributions. There is 2 meetings that are here. The meeting from October 28th to November 6th is in Uzbekistan. That is coming up. And then there are 2 meetings mentioned here. That is one which happened in July and another which happened in March. So let's look at the July meeting. These are the different contributions which happened in July meeting, which were treated in July meeting, which were actually submitted by different members. So if you have a TIES account, only then you can see this. It will ask you for a password and a username and a password, which I showed you just now how to create. So you have to use that username and password to log in and access this. For today, I will show you some examples. So for example, here, look at this. This is a proposal for creating a new work item. And if you see this, then you can see this document. You can click on it. It will again ask you for password. You again the same TIES password that I showed you. And you can see that this follows the same structure. If you open it, it will follow the same structure that I showed you. It is a proposal for initiating a new work item. This was initiated in July of this year. That means that it will probably take 2 years to finish this as a standard if it is approved. So that means that they already have two members supporting it. In case you want this to be established, you need at least two, 3 members to support you. Not necessarily TSDSI members, but globally ITU members are required to be supporting this work item. The structure of the document will exactly look the same that I showed you. There are also other types like functional architectures that are proposed, new texts are proposed. There is different types of documents. These are considerations, so that means that they are informational documents. Some are informational documents, and um, some are normative documents. So um, the template to be followed will be different in each case. That is A.1 and A.13 justification templates are different. Non-normative documents are typically informational, and they look at use cases, technical reports, and so on. Okay, now we have half an hour. In case you have questions, please ask now. Otherwise, okay, so there is a question on where do I find questions for study group? I think that is pretty simple. You can, I will show you. You go to the study group and look at the structure. No, we can look at questions under study. I will look at the structure first and then look at the questions. So you see, this is the different for each study group. You look at the structure. If you look at the structure, it will show you working party, which are studying this, and the questions which are studying this. And each question will have the rapporteurs who are leading the activity. So, for example, if you look at, say, Working Party 1 and question 20. So this is the question for IMT networks, AI, machine learning requirements, and architecture. That's the name of the question. And then there is terms of reference for this question. What will be covered? What are the study items to be considered? And what are the tasks which are for this question? And what are the recommendations? And the relationship with other groups. These are all covered here. So, for example, you can see that the study items are related to requirements and capabilities of IMT 2030 networks based on emerging service scenarios. That means that scenarios, use cases are under study. Requirements and capabilities are under study. Key technologies are under study. Network intelligence is under study. Integration of other technologies is under study. There is benefits and capabilities are under study. Business models and use cases are under study. And POCs are under study. That's interesting. So that means that you can even submit proof of concept reports and implementation reports as well. Will be considered relevant for this question. So that kind of this is how you look at the structure. So if you look at the structure, you can find what kind of activity is done under each question. There is also other types of you can look at previous let me see if I can get one. So yeah, so there is an executive summary which is very valuable for you in case you are planning to submit a contribution. This is the first place that you should look at. This is the executive summary. This shows you what are the recommendations which are uh, under study, which are about to get published. So they are all here, and there are also ongoing work items, new work items which are agreed for establishment. This you hope to be in this list next meeting, right? So these were the people who submitted new work items and they were agreed. So that means this is success case. So you may want to look at this kind of success cases, and this is probably a failure case which did not get maybe approvals. So this is the last call recommendations, and so on. So this is a very good place. It's a gold mine of information in case you would like to submit a contribution. This executive summary of the previous meeting is a best place to start. Normally we also have readout and debriefing sessions that you can profit from that debriefing sessions in case you like. Please feel free to contact Chandrakanta and she will arrange debriefing sessions for these study groups. So I have 20 minutes. I want to take opportunity to actually go through an example and build one potential contribution, at least a skeleton, so that you are familiar with what is the process followed. So let's look at, I mean, this is just an example. Don't get too excited. It is just an example that I will follow to get an idea about what are the things to follow. So, assuming that you have done all the homework that I showed you just now, we look at this kind of a template, and then I look at I will look at this kind of a template. I will leave this number empty for the secretary to fill. I will look at this kind of a template for secretary to. I mean, this number is left for the secretary to fill. I will look at this new proposed work item. Let me just imagine that maybe you want to look at. Uh, Let me see if I have some examples. Just a moment. By the way, if you have some examples, feel free to let me know, and I will use that example if you want. But if you don't have, then I will use my own example. For example, I will say mm, data management for uh, data fusion, data pipeline management mm, for digital multi-model fusion or something like this. Okay. So basically, what I want to make sure is that there is a architecture framework for. This is again just an example. Please don't take it too seriously, but architecture framework for and data pipeline management for multimodal fusion in case of in digital twins, something like this. Okay. So I want to do this, and this is the work item that I've been working on in the last 6 months, let's say, and I have enough material to do this, let us say. And then my students are currently researching this topic. I have scholars working on this, or my team is currently working on this. Then it is the topic that I am currently working on it for the last 6 months to 1 year. I have enough material to justify this. This is the first criteria, right? So I want, this is what my current research topic is. So I want to propose something like this. So then you say that, okay, this contribution proposes to initiate a new work item on exactly the same thing. Okay. And I say to standardize the data formats, fusion techniques, potential fusion techniques, something like this. Okay, data fusion techniques. Okay, and validation at the end, right? Validation of data pipelines and management mechanisms for multi the digital twins, something like this. Okay, you can have more number of lines here explaining what are they. Maybe I can say that this includes a study of requirements, architecture, and validation frameworks. Okay, components maybe, because the title already includes frameworks. So like this, you can conclude that okay, this includes some work item. So then it has a standardization element. It has what are the topics, why these are important. There is validation framework. It is tied to digital twins. There is interoperability because of multi vendors. There are requirements, architecture, and validation components. Okay, something is getting a little bit more clear for the reader. And then I will say, okay, with the rapid development of date, heterogeneous data sources in for AI machine learning in networks, it is important to enable the interoperability between the data formats, sources, metadata, and mm, this would help operators and vendors and end users, right? To develop comprehensive solutions for simulations in digital twins. Okay, you utilize this will also help in plugging in various data sources from potentially uh, uh, globally, etc. Right? So you can fill that in here. Okay, so this is how you write the background. You have to tell what the existing mechanisms include. Okay, you have to explain what are the existing mechanisms. You can take activity examples if you like. You can take industry examples. You can take academic examples if you like. And you can also explain what are they lacking at the moment. For example, what disruptions in the form of fusion models, techniques. You can explain what are the gaps in the existing pipelines for handling this, and the scalability problems, generalization problems, right? These are some of the problems which happen in case of data handling, right? So you can mention these here. You can show a figure which explains the pipeline from different sources, and you can show a model which fuses fusion model with this data, cross verticals, etc., with the simulation on one side and the real world on the other side. So this kind of a figure has to be explained here, and the discussion has to happen here. The requirements has to come here. So I will say requirements. So there is a convention that one needs to follow. That is here. These are the conventions. It is required and recommended and optional. So that you follow here. So at this point, we look at some examples here, and that is sufficient. So requirements include functional aspects such as one, creation of data pipeline, to maintenance, update, etc. Update and maintenance. 3 is update of digital twins, and the fourth one is transfer of knowledge to, or transfer of inference to um, real networks, something like this. So this kind of functional aspects, and here this includes, you can include latency considerations, throughput considerations, whatever else that you like. Here you need to look at the gap analysis, study what are the existing standards, and then put here. For example, I can say in this particular case, I can say, mm, let's say Y.3172. I believe this is architecture framework for AI and machine learning in networks. I think that's the title. I don't remember offhand, but you can see that then you can put the scope, copy paste it from here, and you can say this standard defines the requirements and architecture for machine learning pipeline in networks. Okay, it defines the overlay architecture. Okay, and sandbox for validation. Mm, okay, but it lacks a study of latest techniques such as data fusion, multimodal techniques, etc. Okay, so it's your job. So basically, you have to explain what are the differences, and you have to explain what happens in each of them. Then, as I told you previously, you can introduce here, create a main body here, etc. But remember, you have to follow a structure. The requirements has to be mentioned here, requirements of your framework, and it has to follow a structure such as this 001. It is required that, like this. So you follow this here. This is same structure convention that you need to follow for requirements. This is how you develop a document based upon your previous study, and you do a gap analysis based on it. So that's it. I have 10 minutes left. There are more experienced people on the call as well, so I can even request them to answer any question if I don't know personally any answers, any of the questions, but you can feel free to ask the questions now. We can take questions for 10 minutes. If you want to raise your hand, you can raise your hand, and I believe the colleagues should be able to handle that as well. So please feel free to either use the chat window, or you can raise your hand. We will wait for 10 minutes, and I believe the slides will be made available. And you can ask any further questions in the WhatsApp group as well. Mm, give a new contribution, how to do the gap analysis. Yes. So you can do a gap analysis based upon your current study, or you can do it based upon academic study. The best way to do gap analysis is first you look at the first two columns. That is, I will show you the first two columns that I showed you. Mm, this one. So, okay, not that. Just a moment. So in the table that I showed you, there is a document title uh, and the scope, right? So you see here, there is an SDO, there is a title and the scope. So if if you identify what are the background here, what are the background of your idea. So for example, I picked the idea first, what I want to write upon, and then I wrote a brief background here, right? So based upon that, you can select which are the academic papers or published papers or SDO standards. This mapping depends upon what is your topic, and then only we can do this mapping and gap analysis. So how to do gap analysis? First you write this background, and then we can pick this STOs and which document under this STO, what is the scope of current work, and then we can do the analysis. Do not start from here. This is bad idea. If you start from the analysis, then you will get stuck, and that will be very difficult for you to come out. My suggestion will be that you write this background first, this abstract first and the background first, and then we can discuss, because gap analysis requires quite a bit of experience and quite a bit of analysis. So my suggestion will be that you write the title, abstract, scope, and then let us discuss to find what are the related standards, academic papers, published material. Then we can do the analysis. This is where TSDSI could potentially help, because we have relationship with multiple standards bodies, and we are also quite aware of what happening in the different groups. That may be good idea to take advantage of. Do we get any confirmation before the meeting if our work item is accepted? It will be uploaded, but there is no confirmation that the work item will be accepted in the meeting. There is no such thing. It will be uploaded, it will be there in the agenda. If you follow the template and if your contribution is valid for the group, then yes, it will be uploaded and it will be in the agenda. This is all that will happen before the meeting. During the meeting, which normally is 2 weeks, then you can see the document progresses through different discussions, and it may be accepted as the new work item or not. That depends upon how well you convince and what kind of support you get during the meeting. But please remember, first steps are you prepare the document, make sure it is aligned with the group that you're submitting, make sure your gap analysis is in place, your A.1 or A.13 justification is in place, and you submit before the deadline. Okay, any other questions, please? Or we are ready to close. Yes, we have 1 minute left. Maybe I would like to request our study group 13 vice chair is here. Abhijanji, can you please say a few words and we can close this session if you are available. Abhijanji, are you there?
Hello, Vishnuji. Am I audible?
Yes, please, please say a few words and we are ready to. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you very much. This was an excellent mentoring session, and probably the potential contributors will be inspired, and we'll have more contributions from TSDSI as well as from India. So I'm currently running multiple contributions in SG13, one of which from DOT, which we submitted, on behalf of DOT, got approved as a work item in the last meeting, and the one that is submitted from TSDSI, the is in the verge of becoming a recommendation, as the reporters themselves have agreed to be co-editor and see how take charge of the document to progress. So my request would be that if we get more members coming forward and contributing, at least for SG13, I'll try to see that as the vice chair and representation of member state India in SG13. I'll try my best with mentoring from Vishnuji and the excellent support from TSDSI Secretariat to see how the facilitation, how this can be facilitated for smoother, initial introduction. So we are open to any kind of help to be extended. Thank you.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Abhijanji. I think that's will be great help for us. Your support is highly appreciated. Yeah, thank you. Okay, then we are ready to close. Thank you very much, colleagues, for joining. We have an excellent team here to support you. Maranji is here. Our colleagues are here from Secretariat, and you heard Abhijanji. So we are all here to support. Please, if you want any help, please write to us on WhatsApp group, and you are ready to start. Thank you. Bye bye. Session is closed.